So we have Boruto episode 180, and before I begin, when it comes to these episode reviews, from now on, I'm gonna keep it spoiler free. I realize many people are coming back to the Boruto anime, especially after the Kawaki trailer and the upcoming Vessel arc, which is going to begin in the next 2 weeks. I don't want to spoil it for the anime onlys, considering that many people are coming back, and it would suck to spoil the storyline to these people considering what is going to happen in the future, especially in the manga once that gets adapted, because what happens in the manga is pretty insane. But I'm gonna keep it spoiler free for this review and many of the reviews from now on. But in Boruto episode 180, we really got the development of Mugino's character. Unlike his manga counterpart who doesn't really feel like a character, the anime did a really good job of fleshing out his character and giving him a real backstory, and that's what I really appreciate out of the anime, and that is why I'm starting to warm up to Mugino's character a lot, especially if you have watched the car activation arc, because in the beginning of that arc, he didn't really feel like a character. He just felt like a character who just wanted to get the mission done. He didn't really care about Boruto and the rest of Team 7. He was just a friend to Konohamaru, and he didn't really have any feelings to Boruto. But as the arc progressed, you can tell with Mugino's character, he started to warm up to the likes of Boruto, Sarada, and Mitsuki. And what I like about Mugino is that he really developed this relationship and started to trust them a lot more than before. And we saw how he became much more likable, especially in episode 164. If you remember in episode 164, when they were fighting the quadruplets, one of the quadruplets summoned a creature like the Reaper Death Seal. Mugino really took control, and he was really ready to sacrifice himself for the likes of Boruto, Sarada, Mitsuki, and Konohamaru. He took the hit so Boruto can take the Rasengan, and you can tell that there was a mutual respect for Boruto and Mugino, the way they developed that relationship. Especially during that episode, I started to respect Mugino a lot more compared to his manga counterpart. And after the Land of Silence, he didn't really become relevant in the end of the car activation arc, but now we're getting even more development with this character, and what I really appreciate is that we finally got to learn about his backstory. He has a pretty tragic backstory. Like Naruto, he was an orphan. He grew up in a refugee camp. He was actually forced to try to kill the third Hokage. Some people from rivaling villages or from the camp, I think, they put a curse mark on Mugino trying to kill the third Hokage, and of course no 5-year-old kid is gonna kill a Hokage. That would not make any sense at all. So of course the third Hokage, Hiruzen Sarutobi, he knocked out the people that were forcing Mugino who tried to kill him, and of course he gave Mugino access into Konoha, making him a citizen of the Leaf Village. This is what I like about Mugino. He really accepted the third Hokage in his hands. He started crying when the third Hokage hugged him, showing that he really wasn't loved as a kid, and it was like a Naruto story. Of course Naruto, he probably suffered a little bit more because he was hated in the Leaf Village, but Mugino really suffered the same pain as the likes of Naruto because he was an orphan and he was very lonely. But once he got into the Leaf Village, he met the likes of Konohamaru, and this is where his life changed. And when you look at his house, especially when Boruto and Mugino, they enter his apartment, it's very minimalistic. There is literally no furniture. There's just a bed, a counter, and his tank for his turtle, and that's about it. There is literally nothing in his apartment. If you look closely, the floor is cracking, there is mold on the ceiling, the apartment is literally breaking down, but Mugino, he's just happy as a character. It shows you just how minimalistic he is as a person, and he appreciates that. And unlike Boruto, he's really confused. He's like, why do you live like this? Mugino, he's pretty happy from where he is, and he's happy in his current situation. And when you look at this, it really shows you the contrast between Boruto and Mugino. Boruto, his home, it's really nice. It's a pretty big home. He's the son of the Hokage, so of course, he grew up in a rich family, as you would say. He has basically everything. And when you compare it to the likes of Mugino, Mugino really doesn't have anything in his apartment. It's just the basic necessities to live. And I really like this because it really is developing Mugino's character. And in this episode, we learned that Mugino has to go on an urgent mission with Konohamaru to investigate a crash on the border of the Land of Fire. And this crash, of course, is related to the vessel. The vessel was being transported in an airship, and it was held responsible by Victor, and that airship did crash. As we saw in episode 179, it started to break down, and this is where the anime is connecting the dots toward the manga. Of course, next episode we are getting into the events of chapter 16. We're gonna get the spar between Boruto and Naruto. As you saw in the preview, Mugino's gonna go on that mission with Konohamaru, and I like this because they're finally connecting the dots into the manga, and we're gonna start that very soon. For a side character that really isn't relevant in the Boruto manga, I am really feeling his character. You know, I really enjoy it, and I can't wait to see him in the future. And of course, this is where Mugino leaves. He's gonna head off to his mission with Konohamaru to investigate this crash. And I also do want to talk about Katasuke. So of course Katasuke, he came back. If you don't know what happened to him, he was actually put under a genjutsu back in the Chunin exams in the earlier parts of Boruto. And also in this episode, we saw Katasuke, he made a prosthetic arm for Naruto's other hand, and Naruto does take it in, and he will be using it next episode. He does say you'll have to test it out, and he is going to test it out against his son, against Boruto, in the next episode. I like this because we are finally transitioning into the next arc. And I also forgot to mention Vase-kun. If you remember the beginning of the episode, him Himawari was making a vase, and believe it or not, that vase will play a very important role later down in the line of this anime. It is actually going to be very important to a certain character once he's introduced. It's very ironic considering that it may seem like something that who cares about, but there's a vase. All I'm gonna say is it's very important to the main story. That may seem hilarious to you anime onlys, but it actually will be very important, and it does hold a heart to someone like Himawari. The vase, watch out for that vase, man, because that actually is a very important thing later down in the line in this anime. And this is where the episode ends, and I do want to say that is how you end off 2020 for the Boruto anime. This is the last episode for the Boruto anime. This was a very good episode. I really did enjoy Mugino's character. I really respect his character a lot more than I ever did before, because I didn't really care about him. He does have some appearances in the manga, but he's not really relevant in that department either. So I really like how the anime is really giving him significance in the story. It's going to be crazy what we're going to see in the future, considering that the next episode is episode 181, titled The Vessel. It's the events of chapter 16. We saw in the preview the spar between Boruto and Naruto, and not only that, when we saw the meeting about the missing vessel, Jigen, as you saw in the preview, he was talking about the missing vessel. We're gonna get into that in the next episode, and I do want to say that January 3rd, which is next week, there will be no Boruto episode or Attack on Titan, because I think it is a New Year celebration, so of course everything is off. There's gonna be no anime airing on that day, so basically we're gonna get a 2-week break before the official vessel arc begins. And by looking at the preview looks really good, considering that the animation looks great. They brought back the Momoshiki arc designs. This arc is gonna be amazing, and you anime onlys, you are not ready. And also I do want to say that the current opening, Boruto opening 7, is going away. We will be getting Boruto opening 8, and I do want to say I've heard a little preview of the song. It is a banger. I just want to say that song is so good, and I cannot wait to see the visuals, man. And next episode, Boruto episode 181, that will be airing on January 10th. Like I said, there's gonna be a break next week, so we will have to wait 2 weeks before the next Boruto episode. So let me know what you think about this episode. Are you feeling Mugino's character now? Are you ready for the vessel arc? So let me know what you think about this episode in the comment section below. So if you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe, hit the bell as well, and have a good day. Peace.